Hey everyone, and welcome to Spiritual Journey TV. I'm your host, Thomas Knights Templar, and Mary.
And I'm your co-host, Mary
you're
Silvernail. Yes,
You're a host
we're
too.
both hosts. And I'm Mary Silvernail, and we have a very interesting show tonight with two great guests that have been on before.
That's right.
Right?
We always
Never together here.
you were together.
We
once.
were together one time.
I thought you were.
I don't know if it was his show or Christine's show.
Well, not with this crew.
No,
No, not with this crew, no.
no, you were both on this show.
Yeah, but she wasn't on.
Where was she?
I don't remember that.
It must have been with your old
Anyway,
host.
so
No,
Let's forget
I
that.
think it was another
let's-
timeline.
let's
Another
continue
dimension.
another dimension.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
So anyway, go ahead, Tommy. What were you going to
Sure,
say?
throw it in my lap.
I know.
Go ahead.
Well, okay, because we have a very interesting show,
We
as
do.
I
We have-
said,
Good.
because both these guys do a lot of tremendous amount of energetic
Clearing.
healing and clearing and just moving energy tremendously in a very positive way.
Oh, we try anyway.
Yeah.
That's
A
true.
little bit attitude.
Okay. Anyway, let's start this Q&A. Stephen, I know that you are back from the Philippines. Okay, I thought you might be living there permanently.
Trust me, I almost
Now,
did.
who goes away on vacation for 6 months?
Well, I was out of work. I was working online there, obviously.
I know you had a lot of things to do over there, but geez, but what was there? Did Godzilla come out of the water, change his mind about
Steven's
Tokyo,
been
and
known
came
to
after you?
disappear for a while.
What was it? Said it?
Yeah.
Both things are actually relevant, believe it or not. That's the irony. What'd you say, Chris?
I said you've been known to disappear. I mean, you disappear for months at a time, whether it's in Egypt or wherever.
Yeah, he crosses timelines, I think.
Yeah. Well, this was definitely the longest I've been away, though, too. So there was.
Well, yeah.
And even though you're making a joke about the Godzilla thing, there actually is a relevancy on an astral level to that whole storyline, which ties into a whole
So there was a
wild thing going on.
A dragon type of thing?
Well, because we really want to go. We're going to dive into the deep side quickly.
Okay, yeah, why not? Our audience loves
then
that.
we're gonna resurface and talk about how we met too, just about as add some lightness to the equation. Right?
Okay, so how
Sounds
about
good.
Godzilla? I want to know about Godzilla.
Well, no, so there's a two-part story to this thing. So before I left the Philippines, we were doing some group work because I do group. No, I can group meditations, right? Group activations, group spiritual warrior work, and we were doing work on a location. It was because basically what's happened the past few years is, you guys know this already, most of my groups have turned into what negative alien grid do we need to deconstruct this week? Like what negative defense contractor grid do we need to take down this week, or how do we, basically calling in our light teams to help identify the location. Well, first we identify locations, technology, strategy, structure, and then call in different help to take it down. Or at least, it's kind of like being like the guards at the gate of Mother Earth's castle, and armies are waiting, but they also need people to open up the door to let them in and tell them, hey, there's a crime going on over there. We need help there now, right? So anyway, we were dealing with the reptilian ET group, which are obviously
Dracos.
Yeah, and the thing is that what we had seen was that there was an ancient base they had in Japan, where they had, I was laughing because before that I was having some dreams about like a Godzilla-like creature. I was like, why the hell is that popping up in my head for? And then this came up, and then we actually saw in the underground ancient facility, there was a chamber, technology and material from the reptilians' homeworld, where they were creating a supportive environment on the local astral plane, where they literally transferred one of their negative planetary dragon spirits from their homeworld. That was basically a guardian of one of their dark vortexes. They literally transferred 5 of them to the Earth to create this negative 5 elements, to try to invert the 5 elements and create a negative pentagram with these, but each of these negative dragon spirits, they were like the size of a Godzilla if they were to
Would this
manifest. And I
thing-
was like, oh my God. So it became a planetary exorcism
Would
where
this
the
thing-
Arcturians came in to exorcise it out of the Earth.
Out of the Earth, yeah.
And I encountered on the first time a second one, but in Indonesia, while I was in the Philippines, came up for a client where she had a past life where she was high level in the reptilian order, and she worked with that dragon spirit off-world in the past life, and now they actually were connected here because that same dark one is here as well.
Is that the same energy as the Leviathan?
It's different, but there's a similarity. But
Because
and
this
this
Leviathan is supposed to be, you can't kill it.
So yeah, that's a separate. That's a little more
But is
involved.
it always negative with a dragon?
No,
I mean,
no, no,
I
of
have
course
found
not. Oh,
tremendous,
no, 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 no.
beautiful energy with
No,
dragon.
I'm only talking about the
Okay.
negative ones.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, good.
No, no, no.
Because I know quite a few
No, I
people
love,
that
of
love
course,
the dragon.
Of course. No, no, no. These are
my
about the
whole
reptilian
life.
negative ETs. Yeah, no,
Okay.
there's ones from Arcturus I work with that are like amazing. No, and the positive ascendant planets have the positive dragon spirits that are more
Okay.
evolved than ours. And even here
Good.
in the Caribbean, which was how I first got the memo from my spirit guides to go to Philippines, was through work I was doing in St. Martin a couple years ago, and there were these Atlantean ancient crystal dragon spirits in St. Martin that I had made contact with, and that blew me away. And I was like, oh my God, they're so strong here. And
Well, I know the reptilian
and
things,
they were guardians of the sacred vortexes there of the crystals, and they told me about needing to go over there because there was new energy coming out of the earth out of seven locations that had to do with the phoenix energy, and the Philippines was one of these locations. We needed to prepare for that new cone of light that was coming out of the core of the earth, like her kind of like chakra idea, but it's a little different coming out. And so that's more full circle. But
What made you decide to go to the Philippines? Was it something that pulled you there? Was it this that happened to you that pulled you there?
Well, pretty much the work in the St. Martin, they were showing me that there were going to be seven locations globally where this new Phoenix vortex was going to come out of the Gaia's core, and as part of her inner heart chakra, inner plasma awakening, earthquake shaking, because they said there'd be more earthquakes, more
Earthquakes left and
volcanoes.
right
Well,
lately.
I talked about that in the show last time. They told me it was going to happen this year because it was part of Gaia's shaking up her kundalini, and
I keep on
making more room
I
for that.
keep on getting the
you know.
alerts. I get the alerts
Yeah.
from the
Yeah, me
USGS.
too.
And I had dreams about
Me
it,
too.
and
So many.
and that and
I
the-
just got another one tonight.
Yeah.
yeah, and so basically there was a certain time frame where these Phoenix energies were going to start rising, and I need to be there, especially for early May. That was going to be the big part of it. So this is the beginning of the waves coming on. So I got there. I went there earlier for other reasons, and then I also wanted to be more nurtured and be by the ocean. And they said I need to do more work by the ocean as well, which I had that memo years ago. And so this was kind of a bigger. The reason why I stayed longer and left earlier. I mean, came earlier there. And there's one island over there, which they had me do extra work on. So being almost like a mother goose, so to speak, on the egg, I had to hold space there and do a lot of grid work. Because when I first went to that
Somehow
island.
I can't see you sitting on it.
I don't know. I just
I can.
visualized it.
I can.
Yeah, right?
You can see him
I
sitting on an egg.
visualized it.
Phoenix
I
Daddy.
can. Absolutely.
I can see him sitting down with a pair of bongos or
Oh
something.
my
I
God.
can see that too.
But an egg?
I can see that too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But the
you know,
crazy thing, so when I first got there, there was a nasty energy coming on the ocean. I was like, what's this? It's been a beautiful paradise island here. It was a black cube grid, and I'm like, what the fuck, who's making this? And we tracked it back with a friend to Thailand, and that's why I started having to map out all the different negative shit going on, all the negative going on in different Asian countries, and a lot of them were targeting because it's like the grid wars. They all want a piece of the local astral pie so they can manipulate people and take energy, And so they were trying to contaminate that area. But from the Thailand, because Thai royal family, they become a theme for months where they're all working with negative ET groups. Each one has a contract with a different negative alien group, and they have bases
they
there in
realize
Thailand.
that that's
oh, no,
what they're doing?
This one, no, huge.
Or they're being
no,
duped?
no. They're consciously working like hardcore. It's like Eastern Illuminati family.
Okay. Oh,
like the
God.
level of evil
Don't-
coming out of that, I was like, oh my God, it was so intense. And
So much
it's
stuff
come
is
up
coming
several
up,
times. Yeah.
So much stuff is coming up.
Amazing. I mean, one of the biggest human trafficking, off-world human trafficking stuff going on in Thailand.
Oh.
Over there too. Yeah. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
human hybrid experimentation
yeah.
stuff. It's like insane, next level, like creepy factor.
There's a lot of kids disappearing over there.
Yeah. So
Because
there's
nobody has to explain where they went.
I mean, it's crazy. Anyway, so
You-
Yeah.
so
you
so
do
Philippines
a
were
lot-
holding space for the light there, basically. Yeah, but
You
do
went to
a lot-
Florida.
You went to Florida.
he was also in
but
the
you
Philippines, though.
also go.
I was in the Philippines many
different-
years ago.
Yeah,
So
Philippines. Oh,
I was in the Philippines when I was in the Air Force, but
Really?
this is before I was psychic medium Chris George. This is when I was just Chris in the Air Force doing my thing. So I did nothing like that
well,
back then.
Not on a conscious level,
Right.
but perhaps on,
dipping your feet.
No,
into the
I
energy.
don't think so.
you're telling
I don't
me-
think I didn't really turn on until I would say my second daughter was a year old. That's like 25 years ago. That's
Okay.
when things really started popping for me. Before that, it was sporadic, but nothing like that.
No dragons or anything? Not even Pete's dragon?
Well,
Sorry, the
Pete's
Pete's dragon
Dragon,
had to
sure.
be hit the kids.
Yeah, and Puff.
Yeah, but-
HR
but-
Puff and stuff?
But you do a lot of clearing work.
Yes.
A
I mean,
lot.
again, it's sporadic. Like that. That's what he does all the time. I do it when somebody calls me. It's not something. I'm more of the
but
psychic medium. You know, I don't.
How many times you walk into
Well,
a
the
strange
exorcism,
place
come
and-
on, yeah.
Well,
you've done-
I've done 103 of them.
Yeah.
There you
Up
go.
to now, I've done 103. Now, when you say exorcism, I mean, really, I'm
Different
not
levels.
supposed to call it an exorcism because I'm not a Catholic priest.
Yeah.
So I have to call them spirit removals. But yes, I've done
Are you serious?
103. of them.
They actually sort of tag that name, though?
Well, what happened was I was on
It's
when I
a-
had the
it's a-
radio show,
Yeah. That's right.
you know, that you were on
Yeah.
a few times. I had an exorcist from California come on the show, and me and him went at it until he basically he actually told me to go F myself on the air.
Oh, my
And
God.
at that time, I had like over 1 million listeners.
Oh,
I
my
don't.
God.
I wasn't at the 2 million, but I was over 1 million listeners, and he got so upset with me because I told him what you do is a band-aid, what I do is surgery, and he.
Nice.
A Catholic priest and exorcist on live radio said, "Go F yourself
I
to
love
me."
it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, and he hung up and he left
And a
the show.
fine Catholic boy he is.
Oh my God! Well, half
True
of them,
story.
half of them possessed themselves, so that's the problem.
It was crazy.
Vatican became the seat of how many.
Well, what I do is a little bit different. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I actually bring, well, as we spoke about before, I actually bring the spirit into me. I break it down and then I release it. You know, so it's a little bit different what I do.
Are you still? Well, you seem a lot more softer now, though. You were more.
Well, when you
older
met me
now,
20
yeah.
years ago, I was a lot more hardcore than I am now.
That's when I called
I've
him.
mellowed out.
That's when I called him
Yeah,
the
he
Mystic
was-
Soprano back then. No, I saw him live in action with that. We were doing a retreat together. At the end of it, he went. I forgot what he was pulling some spirit out of some house or some place we were in. But he had his other friend, his relative, his other big Italian guy.
Was that your brother-in-law?
No, I know who he's talking about. I just can't think of his name.
Yeah.
This is
long time ago.
18 years ago or
probably,
something.
yeah. And it was just funny because Chris would work very hardcore like that. I'm like, okay, I would cast out entities too, but I wouldn't, I would empathize and feel, but I wouldn't want to call him in my body. We work a different way.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was always fascinating to observe him. So when he was doing that part, I saw him call that demon entity in his whatever it was into his body, and he had his larger friend hold him down because Chris was like literally wrestling, like, oh, beat this thing down. And I was like, laughing first, but it was such an intense thing because you could see it taking
It
over.
wasn't until you
and
gave him the
fighting it.
suplex that
Yeah,
he
I gave him the spiritual suplex.
Yeah.
So what I do is
Spiritual Brooklyn beatdown.
It's very hard for me to explain how I do it. It was a Brooklyn beatdown. When I bring the spirit into me, people have asked me how I do it, and the truth is, it's a very hard question for me to answer
Yeah.
because I don't know how I do it.
Just
I know that
naturally.
it's in me, and I know that I'm breaking the energy down, and I know that it gets to the point where either it's going to say, I want forgiveness, or I'm just going to break it till there's nothing left.
Okay.
Okay, and it goes to a place where these spirits go that are never going to be heard from again. So it could go one of both ways. They could either repent and say, I'm sorry,
Right.
and then we could release them into the light, or we just destroy it. And it's all done internally. So, I can't 100% explain how I do it. I just know that I've done it 103 times.
Many years
So
ago,
intense, yeah.
when I
Exactly.
first met you, it was here. I think you were on Christine's show, and I was on the camera, and you said this that you draw them into your body.
And you thought I was crazy, probably.
I thought you were out of your ever-loving
Yeah,
mind.
yeah.
A lot of mediums.
There's a lot of things that
Yeah.
I would do, and we do things differently. But that's the way Spirit taught you.
That's right. And I
Yeah.
was taught.
There's the
We're
difference right
all
there.
I was taught by
Different.
spirit. Listen, so when I had the big show, I had many psychics and mediums or wannabe psychics and mediums. A lot of them were full of it. But
Well,
it's the truth.
you
It's
know?
the truth. That's why my show
Yeah,
did so
it's
well
the
because
truth.
I used to call them out. I used to say, yeah, you suck and you got to go. But
I'm gonna have to love it.
And you did it
remember?
on the show?
Absolutely. I would tell them, you
see?
are absolutely
Man
a
after
fraud
my
and
own
you
heart.
don't belong on my show. But a lot of like the real ones would say, you should never do that. It's so dangerous. And you know what?
It would
I
be dangerous.
agree. It is
would be
dangerous, but-
for them. It would be dangerous for
Yes.
me.
But that's what you were called to do.
And I was called to do it, and
That's what you were
that's
called
something
to
I
do.
Your
wanted to do.
special-
That's the difference.
Toolkit.
You have kryptonite defense.
I don't know what I have.
You bring
All I
them
know-
in.
The first time I did it, I didn't even know I was doing it.
Oh, wow.
Okay, honestly, it's the God's
Yeah.
honest truth.
Yeah.
It just happened, and when it was over and everything changed in this place that I was at. It was a dance studio, and everything changed. I was like, what did I just do? And my two brother-in-laws were there, and they had videotaped it as much as they could before the battery just died on the thing. But they were like,
Usually that
Chris, we never
happens.
saw anything like that. How did you know what to do? And again, how do you answer that question? I don't know how I knew what to do. My body just did what it
That's
had
right.
to do, and spirit guided me and showed me and, you know, did everything. And next thing you know, spirit was gone.
When you told me,
Still have that video now?
I don't. I probably do.
when you told me that we were doing the Movipuri show, and you were in that place, and you actually down in the drawer that comes out from the.
Oh, that was that
See that
Waverly
there?
Sanitarium.
Oh, yeah, I
If they
remember.
took that thing and put it out in the middle of the sunlight outside, I still wouldn't lay down in that thing.
So the thing with that was it was on the Maury Povich show, and we went to Waverly Sanitarium, which is an old tuberculosis hospital in Louisville, Kentucky.
Is that the one where they had the long hallway where they were stacking up the bodies that weren't even dead?
That's called the death tunnel. So they had what they did was there was so many people dying of tuberculosis that they didn't have enough beds. So what they would do is the patients that were just about to die, like a day or so, they would put them in this big like basket with wheels and let it roll down this like hallway, but it was on a slope that went down to the basement. They would dump them out and leave them there, still alive, but just to die
Oh my
because they
God.
needed the beds for the new tuberculosis patients. So when we went there, I actually decided I wanted to
that, didn't you?
get in.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to the morgue. I wanted to get in the thing, and I wanted to channel one of the tuberculosis patients. So it was myself. It was my brother-in-law, and all he had was a little lamp on his head. All right, and the cameraman had an infrared camera, so we're in the pitch black. The only thing we could see is the one little headlamp like this, and he could see because he had the infrared camera. I went in there, in the drawer. My brother-in-law's like, Chris, are you sure you want to do this? I'm like, I want to do this. I said, who's ever done this before? It's going to be on live TV. It's going to be awesome. Well, it wasn't that awesome because as soon as I started channeling, the cameraman got so scared, he ran
No.
and left us there. And here I am starting to channel spirit. My brother-in-law's like, what the hell do we do now? That's what happened.
Did you
Wow.
speak to that guy after this? Because
I was really
did he
upset.
see something on the infrared that scared the hell out of him?
All he said was he saw my eyes change. It scared the hell out of him,
Yeah.
and he ran.
He saw
And I'm
something
like,
that
do
was
you
on the
realize
infrared.
what we could have gotten on that
kidding me? Yeah.
film? I
Seeing
mean,
it,
how do you
seeing
do
it.
that?
That's where you go with two cameramen next time.
Yeah, next time there's gonna be two
The
cameramen.
backups there.
But I was
One
really
that's not
upset
a chicken.
because, you know,
And that's
that could have
where
been
it is
that could
in
have been
the
a phenomenal
eyes.
moment.
Wow.
You would. That's the eyes change.
Yes.
My
I
eyes
know.
changed.
I've
Yeah,
said,
for
yeah.
sure.
My eyes
that's
changed.
no. I mean, I've been privy to that. I don't do that. I remove attachments, like attachments. I don't bring in. You know what I mean?
That's how I remove
take
them. I
them
bring
Grab
them
and
in
toss,
and
grab
I
and
do a whole
toss.
I bring them
ceremony.
in to remove them.
Yeah,
So it's a little bit different.
But you bring
I
them
know
in.
it's unorthodox.
But you know what? Let me just say this to you. I need to say this to you. You know how many astrologers there are, right? And you know I've been an astrologer my whole life. But I'm an esoteric astrologer, and that's a soul astrologer, and they are really rare. And the reason is not ego. It's just I couldn't understand it because my sister and my father, when they taught me astrology, I would look at a chart, but I was connecting on this other level just by looking at the astrological chart until I met a woman many years after, and she kept telling me, there's nothing wrong with you, Mary. That's just, other people don't do that, but that's what God gave me.
Right.
Okay?
It's your way.
Yeah, it's my way. I mean, so it's just, I connect with the soul just by looking at.
Yeah, when I first started, when I met him 20 years ago,
everybody's
he went
different.
out and he called me the mystic soprano, and I thought that was hysterical, and it stuck,
I
it
love
stuck
it.
for so many years.
Yeah.
I love it. Hey, I
Like
never
right
heard
away.
you call it that before,
Yeah,
Chris.
the godfather of psychic mediums and the mystic soprano, and he dubbed me the mystic soprano.
yeah.
So in other words,
20
you
years
took the
ago.
spirit, you put a contract out on him, you shot him in the head. He was already dead anyway.
Oh, that's what's going on
No, the
inside.
godfather of psychic mediums, 'cause I'll give you a reading you can't refuse. That's
There
what
you
he-
go, baby.
So funny.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Steven?
It fit perfectly. Yeah,
Let me tell you something. You
You
two
were a party to
guys,
this?
great.
Which one?
Absolutely
Wait,
great.
So are the early stories? Yeah, right.
What, the early stories of us?
Yeah,
When we
the
first met?
ARE. The ARE Center is still there.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't taught there in many, many years. Have
either.
you been there? I haven't been
Me
there.
neither. I forgot they were still there.
Ever
actually.
since they threw me out with the whole Master Perun thing,
Oh, that's right.
I've
Oh,
never
my
been
God.
back.
Oh my god.
Threw you out.
Master Peru. That
There
was
was
the
a-
guy you're
That's
talking
like
about?
hard
There was a
to
guy.
believe ARE
He
would-
came from like I don't know where, like Peru or something, and he
Yeah.
called himself Master Perun, and he was supposed to be like the next coming of I don't know what,
Like John of God?
like John of God. He was like. You remember him, right?
I remember the name, but I don't remember whom at all.
So he did this big thing at the AR ring. There had to be about maybe 30 people there, which
That's a big
whatever.
thing.
What? It
That's,
was
she
nice.
gets
I mean,
30
we
people
used to
in the
get
parking
60
lot.
and 70 people when
Get
we did
over
it.
100.
But he had about, I'm going to say about 30 people there. And everything he was saying was just like, it was wrong. And it was ridiculous. And these people were eating it up. And like I told you guys before the show, I told him, I said, you should be embarrassed. I said, this is an embarrassment. I said, it's ridiculous. And they threw me out because I called them out on being a fraud.
But thank you, because he was being a fraud. See,
It bothered
this
me.
is what bothers me, because what he's saying and out there to people they're ignorant because they just are not learned. They're taking it all the way in, and
That's
that could
right.
screw them up,
And there are
screw up
people
their
that
lives.
like what Stephen does.
There's,
I don't
there's no
understand.
short change of those out, though.
I don't understand
Seen
what
so many
Stephen
over the
does
years.
on his level, okay? I don't. So I can't speak on that. But the things I can speak on, if I know that you're full of baloney, I'm going to tell you. And, I always go back to my radio show, and I used to throw psychics off my show all the time. I would have like 3 psychics on the show, and they would do readings for my audience. And I had a huge audience. At one point, I was over 2 million listeners.
Wow.
And they would come on,
beautiful.
and I would tell my co-host, I would send her a message. I'm like, do you believe this? And she was like, Chris, what are we going to do? I said, I'll show you what we're going to do. I said,
God.
you guys are obviously frauds. You're coming on a show with well over 1 million listeners, and you're making fools of yourself. You got to go. And I used to throw them off the show.
It's like the Gong Show
And then,
version.
right, and then
It's like a
myself-
Gong Show.
myself and my
Chris comes in
co-host
instead with
River,
his-
we used to
with his
finish the show.
blowtorch.
You know what I love? Seriously, Tommy, like the shows we do and, and the podcast, all the stuff we do, everybody we surround ourselves with are genuine. You know what I'm saying? Because we just don't surround ourselves with anyone who
My
isn't.
pet peeve is with just psychics in general. It's sometimes the way they say things.
Yes, I know exactly what you're
Okay,
going to say now.
where you're going. I know where
when they come out of the Sylvia Brown School of Psychicism, if that is such a word,
Yeah,
and they say,
Well, there is.
I'm connecting to spirit. When I hear that,
Oh,
I don't even want to talk.
Well,
to them.
she was notorious for that. See, the thing with Sylvia Brown is, you know that she and I were not friends. But she was actually very good.
Yeah.
She was.
She
I
was very
agree.
good. But she did what a lot of psychics do, like a lot of the famous psychics. They'll give you 1 or 2 really amazing things. And she did give some amazing things. And
But
then
she
she
never
would
turned
fill it
it
with
off.
fluff. No, she did. She would fill it with fluff, like stuff that didn't matter, stuff that, just it
She would
wasn't
trip
relevant.
over herself.
Yes.
Okay, excuse
What
me.
made her
I'm
big
sorry
was
to.
But
Montel
listen,
made her big.
well, no, she made Montel big.
With both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then at the end, look, when she
She
messed
made a
up
boo-boo.
so
Yeah,
bad.
she made a
Well,
boo-boo.
she had me thrown off the Montel Williams show.
She did.
The show I was on never aired.
Chris!
She was contracted with the Montel Williams show, and she said either he goes or I'm gone.
Wow.
And she threw me off the
I
show.
didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, what'd you do to her?
I don't want to say I made her look bad, but I contradicted what she said, and I pretty much told her, how could you tell people something like that when you know it's not true?
Yeah.
And she, basically, there was a woman from Ohio who said that there's a negative entity in her house. And Sylvia Brown said, there's no such thing as negative entities. And I said, excuse me?
What? She said that?
I said,
at all
she
of us
goes,
I would've yelled at
there's no such, and I said to her, I said, I understand what you're doing, because if you don't acknowledge it, you don't have to deal with it. I said, if there's good in the world, there has to be bad. And then she says, well, you should just move. And I said, what?
Oh my God.
I said, no, you get rid of this spirit. That's your home,
move.
you know? And she got so upset with me that she had me thrown off the show.
Fascinating. What interesting.
You didn't know that?
No.
I did not know that.
Yep.
That was a long time. How
We
many years ago
finally
was that?
found
Jeez.
somebody who
But
pissed
it's
her
a
off.
shame, because honestly, I really think that, she was good.
Had talent, yeah.
She had a
She
gift.
was good. Her books, I'm not a fan of her books, but honestly, I'll be completely honest. There's one book, her Book of Angels.
Yeah.
To me, it's the Bible when it comes to angel books. It's phenomenal. Now, I don't know that she wrote it. Her son might have wrote it, because I know he wrote a
He
lot of her
does a
books for
lot of
her.
stuff,
Yeah, he
But
did.
anybody who's looking for a really great book on angels, Sylvia Brown's Book of Angels is very
I
good.
used to use the Doreen Virtue's thing.
Doreen
But-
Virtue, I wouldn't
but
buy anything from her
but
anymore.
No, but
Well,
she's
especially
Well,
since
not
because she
now,
switched
but
sides.
Yeah.
What
not
she
now,
flipped,
but
like, three
at one
times?
time she
No,
was
one
really
time
good.
she was like the #1 angel expert in the world. I had her on my show 3 times. She sent me angel cards that she autographed for me. I gave them to my daughter because I don't like angel cards. To me, the angel cards only tell you the good, and you gotta have a balance. But she flipped, and she's like
Yeah.
she's on the dark
It's
side
a
now.
shame.
It's the craziest thing.
I'm going to tell you, her very best book was her first book, Healing with the Angels.
Yep.
After
I
that,
have it. I
everything
have it.
else was a spin-off. Everything was a spin-off.
Yeah, I don't know why she flipped the way she did, but I mean, she did a 180 complete.
that's-
A question was asked, what about Elizabeth Dubois?
Who?
Elizabeth Dubois.
I don't know who that is.
Medium, she had the show.
I don't
No
remember
idea.
her.
Don't
neither.
Alison Dubois. Allison.
Allison Dubois?
Allison.
I don't know the name.
I don't know
Neither.
that name.
None of us know that one.
None of us know that name, Brian.
Interesting. Sorry.
I only
Thanks,
knew
Brian.
one Dubois. It was Valerie Dubois. We used to call her VD for short. Anyway,
Oh my God.
Hey, how about
What?
all those beautiful pictures you told me that?
oh yeah.
Oh.
Brian, how about putting up some of those pictures
Yeah,
that Stephen took in
Yeah,
the
Angie's looking
Philippines?
forward to seeing the pictures of
Oh
the
my God.
Philippines.
A couple
I'm-
of shots.
I'm in
Philippines
Brian.
is absolutely beautiful. Look at that.
Look.
That's yeah. In
Upstate
Bo-
New York, right?
Where, no, seriously, where
if you
where
zoom
are
in
we
on the
there?
mounds, you see how there's about 1,700 or so mounds in that one island.
Are those?
On Bohol. Yeah, there's a whole grid of those sacred
Yeah,
mounds in
but
one
are they
area, on
mounds
one
that are
island.
man-made, or are
Well,
they?
they're definitely alien-made for sure. I would say 100%. They're
I'm
not.
gonna you know what? I was just gonna say that. Definitely alien
But
man.
it
Yes,
does.
yeah.
They're
And
too, they're too symmetrical. Look at
Even
them.
Chris, no, but imagine a whole grid of that across one part of the island, over around 1,700. It's amazing. So I was taking a picture from there, from on top of one of the other mounds, which I had to
So
actually.
you were elevated. with
Yeah,
this.
I was on another mound.
Okay.
That was part of the side view going out.
That is beautiful.
Oh no, I have pictures for all directions.
Where
That-
in the Philippines is that? Do
That's
you know?
it's called Chocolate Hills. Is what they call it if you look
Oh,
online. Chocolate
very
Hills
nice. Thank
in
you.
the island of Bohol, Bohol,
Bohol, yeah.
and which is off of a 2-hour ferry ride from Cebu, from Cebu City, and take a boat to there. You can fly there directly too. But
Go to the
take a
next
boat
one,
there.
Brian.
That first location was where we really had to anchor there was a higher solar temple of God energy that's underground in a mantle, and it was helping to anchor part of that rising phoenix energy coming out of the earth. And
Awesome.
That
the
picture
other
was-
one was in Boracay. Yeah,
where?
that's on a White Beach. It's called on the island of Boracay, which is where I stayed majority of the time.
Of course you did. Look at
yeah,
it.
yeah. except
wanted
except
to-
except you don't want to go February, March because that White Beach turns into spirulina ocean. It becomes like a green algae season. But that the one side, the other side of the island is beautiful and clean. But then that cleans up and it becomes paradise again. Except last month, rainy season now. So and then the typhoon started coming that way instead of the beautiful
What is it,
calmness.
like a monsoon season?
In July and August, yeah. So that area became like a pet project, same area. But look at that.
Look at the angels
Talk
up
about the
above.
Phoenix like
You
bird
see the
energy there.
angels?
see the angels
So do
up there?
I.
Right?
Yeah.
No, there were so many beings. I had seen
Look at that.
so many skyship UFOs were coming over there, and amazing. We were calling them in, and that island I was doing a lot of work to prepare it. They said it's becoming like kind of like a light sanctuary, what they call a Starheart Oceanic Light Sanctuary, and had to stay there till the frequency was going up to a certain point, to basically up to like 85%. And so when I go back next year, we're gonna elevate it more. It's gonna become like a platform
Beautiful.
for like higher galactic connections to be more present with the elements, in nature. The ocean is like holding amazing energy. It's really part of our upgrade,
Cool, right?
Side note, that's nice.
You got those pictures of Brooklyn?
I have pictures like that from Costa Rica.
Yes, Costa Rica similar. Yeah, 'cause
Costa Rica.
there's
Yeah,
other
Costa
sacred
Rica.
sites there. That's and probably after this year, after next year, when I start doing some groups out there, organized retreats, people that come fly out there maybe for 10 days, and
When you go, where do you stay?
and we'll go to both locations. Over there. No, there's.
You hooked this up.
The hotels are so cheap out there that for American dollar. Oh my God! There's amazing deals out there. There are literally 5-star hotels that for like $100 a night. That's 5-star.
Wow.
There was one place I stayed in. I was alternating all different locations. There was one spot that was like an Airbnb, not Airbnb. No, sorry, Airbnb. More like a bed and breakfast. Big, nice room with a nice balcony. About 7-minute walk from the beach. Breakfast included. It was like $26 a night. You're dealing with like a range between like $30 to $60 a night for on the beach, yeah. It's like, on
Beautiful.
Boracay, it's like and like fresh fish, live music every night, amazing, it's amazing. Fresh
So
juices, mango,
you
watermelon,
ate
pineapple
very
juice every day.
clean for 6 months.
Every juice, fresh juice every day. The coconuts off the tree right there. Like,
You know what that reminded me of with the mounds?
Yeah.
When my daughter Kelly and I went to Ireland.
Yes, like the Hill of Tara, right? Stuff like
You
that.
know what I'm
Yes,
talking about?
yes.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, the energy there is tremendous.
That's what I
There's
was
a
gonna
lot
say.
of
There's
mound places around the world.
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
that's
not the only
that's
one.
what-
Like the pyramids around the
well,
world.
and then right near there in Indonesia, right in Java, is where they discovered now the oldest pyramid in the world is in Java, which they thought was a mountain. That's so close to the Philippines.
really?
It's like about
That's
25,000 years old because all of that was part of
Wow.
was part of the ancient continent of like Lemuria.
Lemuria.
So that energy is there. So like they built those mounds, the positive aliens, over ancient sites that were dedicated, I think, to the sun back in Lemuria. So it became like a continuum.
Look what we just went through, the Lions Gate, right? I mean, when you're talking about
Still going through it.
pyramids,
It's going to go on to the
with
end of the month.
Sun
No.
energy, Phoenix,
Yeah.
Lion.
through the 12th, and then but
energy
it's
is
still the
going.
energy is still going.
Yeah.
You're right. But my point is that that beautiful, the way the stars line up
The six of them.
perfectly.
The six planets the other night.
It's beautiful. Oh yeah, an alignment, perfect.
I don't remember ever seeing that as a kid.
No, of course, me either.
I've
Do
been
you
here
know
a long
that? I've
time, and
always
I don't
watched
remember
the
seeing that.
stars. Do you know though?
you
I
probably-
mean, when
probably,
you
you know.
talk about the pyramids, obviously,
the
the
Philippines with you.
Egyptians knew
Yes,
what they were doing.
$26, I can
you
live like
know,
that. I'm good.
to ascend.
Right?
Look at all the planets. What's going on right now?
Good question.
That's why I had a
I need
couple
to
of-
look at it. I haven't looked into it in a while.
Oh,
actually.
okay. Well, let me just tell you a little something.
That was a perfect
Saturn,
segue.
Neptune, and Pluto
She
are
pulled out the
still
list right there.
retrograde. No, I'm not
Sorry.
going to go through a whole.
But
big
no,
thing.
it was good.
No,
It was,
go
it was, it
through
was
that.
cute.
That's-
No. Okay. Well.
I like it. It was
I like that too.
Yeah, we just had the Lions Gate, and the Lions Gate is extremely important because it opens a portal. And boy, this Lions Gate with everything else that we had 4 retrograde planets because I'm including Chiron.
Chiron,
Yeah.
Chiron, yeah.
And but now we have Mercury direct,
Thank
although
God.
we're still in the shadow. But, even August 28th still coming up. Like, that's why you were talking about that,
Yeah.
Tommy, that it's still that energy going because of Uranus, planet of great change, And here we go again, a time of finding illumination. This is from the column that I write every month. And it's really a true time to pursue your dreams. When I was talking about the horoscopes just Wednesday night on Astrology, Angels, and More, and the theme for this month is just tremendous change and following your dreams, and just look at it for goodness sake. I mean, this is a 9-year of completion, right? 20,
Yeah.
25, 2, 2, 5, 9.
That's 9.
And but the Lionsgate, especially that alignment, I mean that is amazing. How that happens every single year, it just really blows my mind. One other thing I wanted to say, and then I'll shut up. Okay, about the Lionsgate that you're going to appreciate.
Okay.
So our beautiful Ariel behind us here her name is the Lioness of God.
That's right.
Okay, and so she is the angel that oversees the Lionsgate frequencies. So isn't that cool?
Nice.
Isn't that cool?
And she's also
Go
the
ahead.
guardian angel, archangel for us of
Yeah.
this show and everything spiritual journey.
Ariel.
Whether it's the podcast, the store, everything.
And that's interesting because in the tree life that I teach, Ariel also connects to part of the upgraded tree of life, which relates to the left knee, and it has to do with the energy of grace and embodying grace, and it's a silver green color, like walking in grace and that energy.
Oh,
So
tell us. We would love to hear that. Tommy and I adore.
Yeah, that's
Well,
cool.
right before I was leaving here to come here, I took a picture of it. 444 came up on my
Yeah.
phone.
Oh, nice.
And that's her number.
That's her number.
Nice.
Oh, it's an ascended master number. It's
Yeah,
444.
also.
Yep.
Yes, but that's the number that is associated with Ariel. It's amazing. Even when Kirsten and I were driving here the other night, Kirsten kept seeing 444. 444, like license plates and things. When we were driving here the other, calling it to my attention.
I'm telling you.
I know. But
And then
yeah.
for Lionsgate, where I just got back from
Oh,
Philippines like
please.
beginning
Yeah,
of last
tell
week,
us.
and that was the first group I did back at the obelisk.
Were
in
you
Central
here
Park.
when the Lionsgate opened?
Yeah, we're at
you were there.
at the obelisk here.
Oh, you're at the
Central Park.
obelisk,
Yeah,
okay.
it was the first group work at the back
I
there.
haven't been there in many years.
Yes.
I was there with you.
Yes, you should definitely come back there. And,
Yeah.
But it's interesting because we had to deal with the shadow side of the 8/8, which was dealing with a negative feline ET group that's like a black lynx humanoid group that's really nasty. They're like the extreme black sun shadow side of Leo, and they have some interest. They had a dark grid that they had put around the earth through some defense contractors here, and that we had to do a lot of work on that one to tear it down, so we can let the good energy of the real lion and positive one come in. And a lot of them are also what's also going on with Mars, because there's been a lot of stuff we had to work on recently with Mars energy and the moon. Where there was another recent dark grid that was like a negative tetrahedron. Because like a lot of these groups will work with the platonic solids because they hold energy for the elements. So a lot of them are trying to mess with fire and water, especially lately, we're noticing. And so there was a negative tetrahedron where some of these groups are trying to bring in the energy of the old destruction cycle of the Mars civilization. And also they're trying to loop people into the just before Atlantis sank, that energy. So it's a lot about trying to loop people into lower destructive cycles to feed this war energy and like shadow survival aspect collectively. And Lockheed Martin was involved with
Gee, you think?
with the
Raytheon.
with this specific project, they were involved with this negative tetrahedron, where one of the bases that they have on Mars was working with 3 negative ET groups with a set group, one that works with the Beelzebub energy, which is that's like a question to see, because part of our work that'd be interesting, a segue conversation point, because what we track is that there's a negative. We've had this on the show before, where there's a negative humanoid group from the Southern Cross constellation that is the origin point of that Beelzebub energy. And they kind of use that galactic demonic energy as like a malware to infect other planets when they want to hack it and go into there. Anyway, so they're all trying to bring back that shadow energy, and they were trying to bind the positive energy of Mars to create the shadow masculine and use that as a doorway, psychologically, energetically, to keep that vibration low on the Earth. So there's been a lot of intervention now going on to help stop that. So we're doing some big work very recently on that.
Look at
you know.
beautiful Venus and
Yeah,
Jupiter.
yeah.
You could see it. At night, you look up, they're
Yep.
together. It looks like 2 stars, one bigger than the other, but they're traveling along together.
And that makes sense
in the
because some of the
heavens.
higher galactic armies of light that are on Jupiter were coming into Mars to help also free up and
that's
cancel
great,
out.
right?
And Andromedans and Arcturians too, and Palladians, they all were coming there. There was like a whole little war going on at a higher level. We're like, this is good. We got to clear it out.
Always,
Yeah, a lot of times I listen
that
to
must
the
be very difficult
Palladian
to always
and,
be understanding and
Arcturian,
knowing about that
council.
whole
Not easy.
deep,
I
dark
listen to them.
side.
Yeah.
I mean, at least it's
And
when
they
you're
talk
doing it
this
like on an
stuff,
individual
and
really
basis. I
to
guess I
umpteen
shouldn't be
levels,
What I
doing
do
that.
is very
Yeah.
different than
They-
I know,
he does
totally.
it
Basically
on
have
a
it in hand.
large scale. I'm focused on one person or one thing.
Yeah, that's right.
He's more galactic. That's why they call him the galactic shaman.
I know,
He's
he
more-
is the galactic
But
shaman.
a lot of it starts because when I'm working on clients, I'll see like their past lives with these groups off world, and then that creates a clue marker for me to what's going on with the bigger system. So it's a bit of like a reference point compass.
Yeah.
Where because for me that's what's going
Well,
on the
just
past few
because
years.
they was once in another lifetime with one of those groups doesn't mean
Yeah.
that this time around.
Oh no. Most of the work had like a lot. What I tracked was I would say about 15% of people that are like star seeds that are here have had special lives. We call them like part of like the infiltration teams, where they had lifetimes infiltrating and incarnating into dark negative ET groups as part of the larger war that's going on between light and dark, as well as to balance out the polarity and to try to bring light to dark and understand the dark's methodology of that specific group. And because a lot of wars are fought through time, not just in space, so so all those groups are here now. Everyone's here to play, and Mother Earth's pot here.
Are
She's
they
like, get out of
playing
here.
this Are they playing this in different dimensions?
What do you mean, which part?
I mean, we are in this 3D world.
Sure.
Okay, but are they doing these same things, like pre-setting what's going on here in other dimensions?
and 4 and
and
5D,
eventually,
yeah.
as we get there, we got to start all over again with this stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Well, it's well.
Well, it's like
No.
somebody's laying out the plan.
Well, I mean,
on.
it's more like a cascade going down from 4 or 5.
So it's coming down to us.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
and
so
then-
the higher we get, the more we're away from that. I also
it's both
I
because
wanted
there's
to
like
ask
negative
a question.
4D and negative 5D. Well, there's both light and dark on both those levels. But but Earth is going positive. Obviously, that's the point. But it's clearing out the idiots'
We're talking about
interference.
the groups, is that which group of ETs would you say that could be that you do this? Would you be most connected to? Would it be Palladian? Would it be Arcturian? Would it be
I mean,
Andromedans?
there's a bunch of them, but I mean, the two groups that come in. I mean, the Andromedans the past 3 years have come in the most them out of anybody. They're coming in every week. We do warrior stuff.
Yeah.
They're the first groups now. But it's not just one planet. It's a conglomeration of worlds from Andromeda that sent representatives, like millions of Andromedans, to the Milky Way to help in its liberation, basically. And so the phrase we call it is the Andromedan Starheart Infinity Defense League. Andromedan Starheart Infinity Defense League.
That's a catchy tune.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
5 times fast.
Yeah,
my goodness.
Andromedan Starheart
You know-
Infinity Defense League. And there's
You know
many
what
worlds.
that group was?
What?
The Beach Boys.
Beach Boys, yes. I mean, there's two groups that there. One's called the Zoutonians and Zaudonians, or two groups in that.
Are they from
Yeah.
the same thing?
Well, they're part of the same league in Andromeda. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's certain groups that like the Z names.
I
are
wanted
same.
to ask Chris, when you are in this situation of channeling, when you bring in that entity, that's soul, okay? Who are the light beings that you're working with in order? What do you do?
It's always Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael. Michael to protect me.
Yes.
And Raphael to keep me healed and,
Fix anything
basically
it might
both of them
break.
to keep me safe.
Yeah.
They're
So
my
you
two.
work with the angels.
Absolutely.
Archangels.
Yes.
Yeah. See what
Absolutely.
I'm wearing here tonight, right? Michael.
Oh, there you go.
That's
Chris,
my Michael.
Tell them our.
Yeah.
That was a perfect segue from me and Chris's original meeting story.
What?
What you just said.
when they did the documentary.
Yes.
And
yes,
so,
yeah.
so they years ago, 20 years
20
ago,
years ago, yeah, yeah.
whatever it was.
Yeah.
Somebody did a documentary on me at the New School in Manhattan, and we both had a friend have a friend who knew us, okay? And she told him, "You have to meet this guy." I had no idea who he was. So I'm on stage, and they do the documentary, and then there was a Q&A, and I answered a bunch of questions. And when I came down off the stage, this guy over here comes up and gives me a big hug. And back then, and he could tell you, I was wound a little bit more tight than I
Oh
am
my
now.
God, yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, who the hell is this guy hugging me? I mean, guys don't hug me,
Oh
and he says, the first thing out of his mouth was, "Brother Chris, that was amazing. You have gold all around you. You have Archangel Michael energy all around you. We have to hang out. You have to come to my meditation." And I was like, he didn't even give me a chance to say a word.
Yeah.
Next thing I know,
Steven.
like 2 days later, I'm in his apartment. I believe it was in Queens.
Yeah, story. I'm not gonna-
And I walk in, and I don't know, maybe 12 or I don't know. I mean, there was a bunch of people there,
Yeah.
and they're all coming up and hugging me, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm not used to
am I at?
this.
Yeah.
And everyone's hugging me and calling me Brother Chris, and I'm thinking to myself, what is going on here? And that's when I sat in on his first.
It was a spiritual cult.
Basically, so and it was a meditation, but it wasn't a meditation. It was something else.
Yeah.
And I sat there, and all these people, they're making weird noises, and he's saying stuff that I had no idea what it meant. But the crazy thing that happened that night for me was all these people had their eyes closed, and they were so into everything he was saying. I didn't close my eyes once. I was watching everybody, and that was the first time in my life where I was like jumping into what they were saying. And at the
right,
end, do you
that's right.
remember?
That's
At the
right.
end of the meditation, you asked me, you said, "Brother Chris, is there anything you want to add?" And I said, "Well, this is what happened with you, and this is what happened with you." And I went around the room, and they were like, "Oh my God, that's," because I was actually seeing whatever was going on in
Yeah.
their head, and that blew
Amazing.
me away, because I had never done that before.
Oh,
And
really?
yes,
I remember that.
And
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I always said that maybe he activated something in me that night,
Yeah,
because I started seeing everybody's visions that they were having when he was talking, and that
So
was
cool.
that
So
was our
cool, yeah.
first real meeting. And then you taught me how to smoke the hookah.
Yeah, that's right. And the
It
story.
didn't go too well for me,
What
but
was
I
in
tried.
that thing?
When in Rome.
What were you putting in that hookah?
It's just regular.
Yeah, just regular.
Regular tobacco. Yeah.
Oh, regular tobacco. You heard it from him.
Oh my God.
You know?
That's so fun. But the Michael part, yeah, that's right.
That's right. That's the first thing you said to me. You said you have Archangel Michael energy all around you. You're glowing. And I says, okay. And then you said something about his sword. I don't remember everything you said, but you said his sword is protecting you, and I see you in armor, and you have a sword. And I'm thinking to myself, Okay, pretty cool.
Pretty cool, right?
But you got to
need
understand
that for what you do.
Yeah, so
confirmation.
I've been doing this 24 years, professionally 18 years. So 20 years ago, I was just coming out. I was just learning about what I could do.
Yeah.
And that's when I met him, and right at the beginning of my real journey. So
It's awesome.
It's good to have an
That
anchor
is
like
so
this.
cool, right?
yeah,
I
Very
love
good, very
it.
good
And you
mirrors.
can call me Brother Tom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, thank God.
I was gonna say call me Mother Mary, but
There you go.
There's the name
Okay.
fits. Wear it.
yeah. So anyway, do we have any more pictures of the Philippines or
Well,
no?
you were supposed to send him a bunch of the text message. I sent you all those pictures.
Yeah. Oh, I have them on my phone. Jeez.
Oh, you never sent it to him?
I don't think so. What else you got, Brian? You
only-
want some more?
I only sent them a few because I thought you had the other ones going on. Oh. Well, while that happens, you can keep talking, I guess.
Well, it might as well.
I was at the nail salon, and I texted you.
I was like, what
Don't
the hell
forget
does that
the
have to do?
Oh, it's like, what's that random?
Okay, what was the segue?
Definitely
Oh, yeah,
a
come
woman's
on.
moment for a second, I thought.
I think so. I think
Oh,
so.
look it, he's got a slew of them.
Oh, quiet you.
He's
So
bad.
slow.
Yeah, well, Angie's waiting to
I
see
mean, you
this.
dropped the ball on this one, Tom.
He did, yeah.
I did. You
Brother
know.
Tom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Brother
I don't
Tom.
think he should be a brother anymore.
I'm going to call you Brother Tom. from now
Listen,
on.
Sir Tom a lot.
listen, you hurt me here. You get me, wounded me deep.
Oh, my God.
I made that part. It was dramatic. The
I
show
know.
has been,
It's okay.
You don't want to disappoint
I don't
Angie.
even know how to do
Where's
this.
the moon tonight, actually? Yeah. Where's the moon now? Is it in?
Gemini.
Oh,
Went
it's in my
from
sign.
Taurus,
Oh,
Gemini.
Oh, nice. That makes sense.
I
Good
don't know.
timing for me. My sun and moon are Gemini. So.
That's why we're all speaking so beautifully. Okay.
And bouncing around all
Yeah,
over the place.
all over the place. That's okay.
Well,
it's fun.
one thing I could
Really
say
cool.
is anytime Stephen and I have been together, things have bounced all over the place.
Right?
I mean,
Yeah,
really,
I can
it's
see
never,
that.
it's never what it's supposed to be. It always becomes something bigger.
Yeah, but you know
always.
what I really love? Look at all we found out about you two guys,
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
The history. It's
true.
really fun.
It's nice to
Yeah.
speaking
Great.
of like a version
Beautiful.
of the post Mercury retrograde good story.
Yeah, right. Right?
Don't say that phrase.
No,
Please
a good
don't
positive
say
version.
it. Don't
Old friends
say
meet,
that.
people we haven't seen in a long time, and connect. And
Yeah.
that's a good
That's
manifestation.
right. So
I have a
there's
big
good
issue
things
with
about
the
it.
whole Mercury retrograde
Me
thing. I know
too.
you're gonna get pissed off at me for this.
ahead.
It's never affected me, never once,
Good.
not even a little bit.
Good.
Chris, we were
and I-
doing a show here. Okay, we had these other ladies who were here to visit, and they do astrology too.
Right.
And I don't know whether it's a hobby, it's whatever it is, and they're talking, and I don't even want to hear it.
Well, they
I come
keep
in with
saying
that
it to you, I
35
don't.
sandwiches. All went on the ground. Not one of them stayed on the plate. Everything exploded. Okay, that I had to call for pizza from some
my God.
some hellhole over here.
Right.
Okay, and I'm telling you, I
Bad
walked
New York
into the room and I said, the first one that says
Mercury
that,
retrograde.
I said, I'm going to kill you. All right.
Well, you didn't tell the whole story.
Okay, you
Because
tell it.
then when you
You
were
tell
packing
it.
everything up and leaving, and those beautiful cupcakes that I brought from that
my God.
great bakery, okay, he's pulling the stuff, going down the steps, and boom. That was that other bakery. That was $100 worth of cupcakes.
Oh my God.
But they all mixed together.
Yeah.
Were very good.
But he doesn't believe in Mercury retrograde.
Well, listen,
I am-
my
I
big
am-
problem with it is, so many years ago, there was a woman, I'm not going to mention her name, but she used to, I would say she was like a promoter for me. And I was supposed to do a thing at the St. George Theater. And I was supposed to sign the contract, and she says, we're not signing the contract. I said, what do you mean we're not signing? She goes, it's Mercury retrograde.
No,
I said,
you
no.
can still-
I said, we're signing the contract. And she says, we're not signing the contract.
Oh, damn.
And I fired
That's
her on
crazy.
the spot.
That's crazy. You can't rule your life by it.
Absolutely.
All you have
And
to
that's
do
what I
is
tried to
just
tell her.
read everything and make sure.
That's what I
all.
tried to tell her, and
Still,
she
that doesn't hold you back in
refused.
life.
Yeah.
And that was the last
No.
time I ever spoke with her.
That's
I
wild.
don't blame you.
True story.
I don't blame you.
Well, it's like everyone,
says-
it's using too much anything to the extreme. It's like, okay, if it
Exactly.
was in a rain
That's
outside,
exactly
you want
it.
to
Keeping
bring an
it to
umbrella?
the
You don't want to
extreme.
bring an umbrella. Some people like to get wet, some don't.
That's like walking in fear.
Doesn't mean you
Seriously.
don't go outside because it's
and
raining.
listen, the truth is, listen, being on Facebook, I have a lot of people that follow me
Yeah.
and listen to things that I say. And I see that Mercury retrograde does affect certain people.
Certain people, yeah.
But it just has never affected me. So
Good.
I
God
can't. It
bless.
doesn't resonate all that much with me because it's never affected me before.
Listen,
Yeah.
I don't put any. I believe anything that you focus on, you're going to draw it,
This is very true.
and that's
Yeah.
it. You know, concentrated thought.
But sometimes
a-
it's not about that.
Yeah,
for
but
this, because
sometimes it's
Would
the
you not,
energy
would
of
you
the
not do
planets,
something?
right?
Would you
If
not
you're
do
gonna go
something?
with the mindset
Would
that
you
you
not do
think
something
If you don't know
that-
it's
No, I've already
this is
bought a
gonna
car.
this is
Mercury
gonna happen.
retrograde.
Sure,
Come on.
sure,
It's going to happen.
Okay, I've
because
signed
you're
contracts,
powering.
Well, no,
Mercury
that's-
retrograde,
that's
but I
that's
look
different.
at
Right. I mean,
all
they
the
would
words.
just-
I
Intelligent,
don't
yeah.
want to hear about that, and
That's
I
all.
drop them. And let me
Yeah,
tell
I
you
don't
something.
let it stop me. No.
Yeah, it's
No,
more,
and
more
a
like
lot of people let it
subconscious.
stop them.
Yes.
And a lot of people use it as a crutch to not do
Yes.
things.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I tell people that, I say, you're using that as a crutch not to do something that you should be doing. You know, don't let it hold you back. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you stop yourself from doing what you're
It's more
supposed
like
to do?
fun in retrospect when you're not aware it's happening and you go through some events where like, wow, what just happened? And you look at the calendar like, oh, wow, this
Oh,
makes sense
yeah,
because
that's
this
right.
planet's there and it actually does make sense by its reverberation. So for me, it's more like a cool confirmation also to see sometimes in those ripples.
Yeah,
out
but
of
I
influence.
have clients, you know, I'm thinking of two of them that have tons of Virgo planets, okay? So, and that's ruled by Mercury. And Virgo, anyway, you know, second guesses themselves. So they do have things happen to them during
Yeah.
Mercury retrograde. It's just,
Oh, a lot
it
of electronic
happens. I
stuff?
mean,
Why
because
are
there
they
is
all-
energy from the
Computers,
the
electronic stuff. A
stars.
lot of people I knew
Yeah.
were not aware of what was happening this time
Yeah.
around. It was getting.
I have so many
influenced.
Virgos in my life. I don't know, baby. I'm like I'm freaking sponge for them. You know?
Anyway, Virgos?
Yeah. I tell Mary, I said, what is this? He says, this is like a curse or something.
No, no, that's the karma you brought in.
I brought Virgos
I
in.
showed it to you. I talked to you about it.
Don't question the astrologer.
Oh my God.
It's there.
Was I actually listening?
Yes.
Was he-
No,
Then I
that's right.
forgot it. I'm old.
What was he mansplaining you?
So what do you have coming up next?
Yeah.
I mean, where's your next excursion to?
Yeah, good question. No, right now I was gone since I was gone for so long. I mean, it's almost just under 6 months. So I mean, I'm staying local right now. You know, focusing grounding. I mean, there is a potential, but it's not. I'm not gonna. Right now, it's kind of floating back and forth about revisiting to St. Martin in October. But
Oh, nice.
it depends on these energies again, because right now everything is very volatile. Like the few days before I left Philippines and the first week I got back, I had gotten so many insane attacks. I literally had attacks from like 10 different groups in like 9 days. I'm like, oh my
Well,
God.
they knew you were there to
That's
do
like a
what you
new
had to
record
do.
for me. Like I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, you know, a lot of different
We got
defense
5.
contractors, intel agencies, people like that, and a few ET groups thrown in there. But I was just like, you guys are out of control. Like, stop, you know, because they're all obsessed about trying to stop these activations and like keeping people. Well, because there's also a lot of this technology they're using that's more like quantum based, and they're trying to keep people limited in their perceptual awareness of like option A, B,
So
C.
you think
and-
that region where you were down there, that's part of the Ring of Fire over there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's amazing.
That region. But what about, because I hear.
And like
so
no
much-
chemtrails. I was like, oh my God, I can actually breathe the air here for God's sake, without getting poisoned.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just about
You hear that?
chemtrails.
No, that's just the little things that come off the jet. Yeah, okay.
No. It was like one trail a few times. It happened when the defense secretary came to the Philippines, and there was one little trail. I was like, okay, I can deal with that. You know, not like
That was
instead of
probably-
the whole
that
sky
was-
being filled up with a grid freaking every other day. You know?
No, I wanted to ask you because you know.
Oh, so but yeah, but
There's
the next
different
thing I'll-
zones. What about like Antarctic? There's a lot of alien activity.
Oh
up
yeah,
there.
yeah. We actually had to deal with Antarctica and the North Pole came up in the last 2 group meditations because the negative Nordic ETs have a base. Well, many groups have bases in both areas, but they have a base in the South Pole, and they were connecting it to that dark energy from Mars as well. But they were a lot of them are trying to manipulate the magnetic field collectively to manipulate people's personal magnetic field. So it becomes like dumping, you know, like a malware program into the collective internet, and then whoever downloads the email attachment gets the
Right.
virus in the computer. So
Well,
it's,
there was-
it's energetic like that, where they want to dump, they want to use the collective magnetic field as an injection point. So we're like, wait a minute, we need to put energetic light filters. Like, no, we don't consent to this crap,
No,
you know, coming in here.
This documentary I was watching, the guy.
But it hurts. I mean, if you
was-
feel like this pressure zone, like, and I got back to, I was like, oh my, I feel like being boxed. I'm like, fuck, I feel like being squeezed over here. Like, I got back to New York. I'm like, to fit into this, like,
they were using. They
in New
were,
York, you
u-
feel it when you come back to this crap area.
They
you know,
were
this-
using HARP on the people in these regions of Alaska that are very sparsely populated,
Oh, yeah.
and they were using HARP on them to get them to do that, to change their and to change who they are.
Oh yeah.
And manipulate. And a lot of people, Alaska has, to what I understood from this thing, that they have the largest amount per capita of people that just disappear.
Where is this?
Alaska. Yeah, that's a fact.
I've heard that as well.
That is a fact.
I've heard that as well.
A lot of what do you call it?
They actually did a documentary on that.
Yeah, I was watching that.
Yeah.
And it was talking about the people, like the little village right here. Here's the water.
Yeah.
And the ones that go under the water, I forgot the SR or something or other. SO, it's like a UFO, but it goes underwater.
Yeah.
All right, and they just
Submerged,
and they're
kind of,
seeing them, and nobody says anything about it.
There's also creepy stuff going on with relocating a certain number of people that have happened. I haven't know if you can talk about it, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll plant a little seed because there's a lot of the obsession with these darker groups. Because we talk about this on the show all the time. Past 3 years ago, a lot of the governments. Not a lot of governments, a lot of the secret power groups behind the governments had made updated treaties with the negative ET groups to give them more permission to manipulate our history, our timeline, and commodify people. So since that point, every client I was seeing every day was coming with cords and implants that were going to military bases and or alien bases. And I'm like, what the fuck? They're literally harvesting people's energy constantly, and they're trying to connect people to these time gates, literally like out of the movie, like portals to other timelines, where specific alien groups have already invaded the Earth. So this alien invasion theme is coming up in all different parameters and ways you wouldn't even perceive of. So what I'd only seen recently was that there's also a lot of stories of missing people in the Midwest and like whole towns that were like abandoned, like in the, and their giant AI centers are being built over the Midwest down the center there. But like these ghost towns that have popped up, and we started seeing that there were quite a large number of people. I mean, tens of thousands that were abducted by CIA and DIA, and through different ways where they opened up portals in those little towns and they literally relocated people to some of those alien invasion timelines and try to hook them up to the machines over there to make them, to try to create a counterbalance, basically to try to add weight to that negative timeline.
We got like a minute left.
And they were literally trying to make people think that they either died or that they were going crazy when they brought them into the other timeline.
That's crazy.
It's some next level like creepy
We'll
shit.
have to hold this off for another time.
But anyway, that's the creepy. But yeah,
we
but
Boy,
no,
you guys together make some pair.
back at the obelisk
Such an
for the next full
interesting
moon.
show.
Yeah,
I
basically,
love
for the
it.
next full moon, yeah. And then there'll be more
Well,
Phoenix Ascension
fun.
work coming up at end of September.
Make sure you send me a message. I would like for
If
Dawn and I
anybody
to
would
come.
like to attend that,
Also do it on Zoom from the obelisk.
you're going to do what?
I do it on Zoom from the obelisk.
He's going to
as well.
do Zoom from the obelisk, and
Yeah,
you can just
little tripod.
check Stephen's, what do you have, Facebook, or what is it?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook under my name, or just
And you'll get the information
YouTube
there,
channel's my name.
and tune in.
Side
All right,
jumper,
I'm
right?
getting this,
extra.
okay, which means we got to go. All right, thanks for coming tonight, everyone.
Thank you, blessings.
We'll see you.
Many, many, many bright blessings. Many bright blessings.
And so it is.
And make
Thanks
sure
for
you're out in
having us
nature,
tonight.
ground in nature and the sun.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Wave bye-bye.